Oh, let's whack you guys in there a second. Okay, we've got a couple hours. Get some more painting done, and 100% I'm not freezing. I am. I'm so cold. So yesterday I decided to smash through a bunch of the Pestigors. Still got the rotters to do. I'm just going to call them the rotters for the moment because I can't bother to remember their names. But yes, so Pestigors are on the table. I've got 2 cameras set up today because there's quite a difference I've noticed in the colour of our main top camera. Whereas the other camera's a bit closer to the actual real colour. So it's literally just going to be a couple hours of me just randomly prattling about. So I'm going to attempt to, since I've essentially based all of these guys out, I'm going to attempt to bring some of the elements back up. So they all got essentially covered in one streaking grime or another yesterday, and obviously that's dulled things down quite a lot. I was hoping to go for a more sickly pale greenish tinge to the skin, which has kind of happened. It's quite difficult to try and decide how to bring them in line with the rest of my maggot kin, because they don't really have as much in the way of armor plates as the main Blight Kings. We haven't added any like orangey rusts or anything to them, so did manage to get the purple in, so we've gone with purple loincloths. That's like a running theme through the majority of my maggot-kin. We haven't done any rusty effects or anything yet because I'm still waiting for my Typhus Corrosion, because as much as I liked the corrosion texture that from AK, it's a bit clumpy, and I like how kind of like liquidy the GW Typhus Corrosion is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring back up a bunch of the metallics. I'm just going to stipple in a bunch of brighter silver, because when I go back through and I hit them all with rust effects and stuff, it's obviously going to dull them down again. I thought I'll start with that. We'll see if I'll go through the silvers. Let's see if we can touch them up a bit and see what happens. Right. That is my task for the Mo. I always like to have just a pointless, meaningless task to do while I try and figure out what the next step is. Always good just to be constantly painting something instead of sitting here and actually thinking about what I'm doing. So, yeah. I also need to do something with the cloth on their faces, so that's another one that I need to try and figure out. We're going to stain them with some more like brownish. Brownish stain of some description. So one of my friends did say that I'm going live early in the morning is probably not a good idea, but that's when I'm here. It's fine. I'm sure there's at least a couple people out there. Maybe. Another reason for going live is because I need to keep reminding people that we do, since we're only a tiny channel, we still have to hit our 500 subscribers. And when we hit our 500 subscribers, I'll put a post out. We'll put a comment post out just to say, comment on this post, and then we'll select someone to win a combat patrol or a spearhead or an old world battalion box. Something around about the 110 sort of pound RRP value. But we won't be doing that giveaway until we hit our 500 subscriber mark. And then we'll do it again when we hit 1,000. Okay. So yeah, mostly these guys have been painted just randomly splashing paint on. I've not even really had given too much thought into what I've been doing. That's the best thing about painting Nurgle in general, for doesn't matter what it's for, is you can get away with just messing about. I did have to be semi-mindful doing the skin though, because I didn't want the Pestigors skin to be as pinky as the Blight Kings, the Maggot King guys. I've tried to put more of a green to it, but I didn't want them to be green, so I had to like kind of balance between. I probably am going to still add another green wash of some description and green them up a bit more, or just try to get the green into the recesses, but it's a juggling act. I'm just going to stick with stippling in a light silver on all of the metallics. There's still a couple of different things to do. There's a couple of shields that have got some fleshy sort of like stuff stretched on them, torn like flesh stuff, so still got to mess about with them. But they're all going to get to a stage soon where I can happily leave them for a moment. And I've also noticed that the push fit failed on this arm. Push fit failed on that arm, and I'm going to have to squidge some super glue in there and hold it together at some stage when I can be bothered. But if I can get these guys up to a level where I'm happy just to leave them for a bit, I'll move on to the cultists. But quite like this guy. I like his head. I like his face. He's got like a few of them have got like almost like just like ram skull heads inside there. Still got to add in some like well thin down. We'll thin down some blood for the blood god, and we're going to add into the recesses. I've got some green glaze, some of the OG green glaze, so I might glaze some of that into the recesses a bit and see what happens. The only problem is when I change, if it changes the tone to a point where I don't like it, I've got to go back in then and mess about and get it back up. Cheers, Swabs. It's a good box if you like Nurgle. Desperate to play it, but I said we won't play it until I painted it. So, got to get it painted. There's a couple of weird things on these guys' mouths as well. It's actually really difficult to tell what the hell some things are, but it's fine. We'll add some red in there and stuff, and no one's going to notice. I'm sure we can mess about with them a bit. It's hard to tell with a couple of them if it's a lip or if it's a tongue or if it's actually more the nose bone that's poking through. There's also a couple mold lines on the weapons, but I wasn't bothered about them because I say they're going to get all crustied up and stuff, so I'm not going to see them. They're just visible to me at the moment. Okay. So I've got a semi-try in there. Keep things. I've got to make sure I don't paint too many things I know I'm going to dirty up. Which is why I'm trying to keep this lighter silver closer to the very edges of the weapons, because I know I'm going to come back and make them all dirty or rusty or whatever I'm going to do to them. So we'll just stipple this iron breaker around the edges. And to be honest, if I can get it where I want, like I'm happy with it, I might not even rusty them up even more. So apologies if my camera keeps auto-focusing on my hands. Let's try and keep an eye on that. It's been a week of problems with cameras and stuff. Broke my wired mic, so I'm using wireless battery-powered ones, so hopefully that doesn't conk out like it did the other day, and I sat here talking to myself for about 40 minutes or so until someone pointed out there was no audio. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay. So I might, after this, just mess with their hoods. And then just pop some ultra matte varnish over some of the more shiny bits that shouldn't be shiny. Also, I haven't figured out what I'm doing with the bases yet either. So we do have a few options. I think I might just dirty them up. The other option is to try and slap some water effects down. I don't know if I really want to. I kind of need to look at my maggotkin bases and decide from there, because these guys get or have rules for AOS, then I would kind of like them to fit the other things I've got. Apologies for the sniffles. I'm not ill. It's cold outside. It's not particularly warm in here, actually. He says, sitting with his gloves and beanie, and I actually still have my scarf around my neck, I've just realised. So yeah, I'm going to keep remembering every once in a while to actually say, to make sure that people subscribe literally because of the subscriber giveaway that we need to sort out. I think we're like, I don't remember what we're on now. I'm pretty sure we don't have less than 100 needed to be able to do a subscriber giveaway. If I happen to suddenly mute or go quiet, it's always a chance that someone's popped in. Sorry, someone messaged me and I had to reply. So I actually forgot what I was doing for a second then. This is the problem as well, being live while technically at work. Yes, being at work and having to then reply to customers. And then getting random alarms going off. Oh my god, seriously? Fortunately, I am not a very well organised person, so I need multiple alarms, multiple reminders. I had to set about 3 today just to remind me that I've got to go to the Christmas choir thing my youngest is doing today for school. Okay, so silvers have all been splattered on there. Now I need to decide what I'm doing with their cowls, and I've got a very old Seraphim sepia bottle here. So I'm going to slap some contrast medium into a second. Give it a shake. Because I need to brown up these hoods a bit. So no idea what's going to happen, but just thinking about maybe just attempting to chuck it into the recesses a little bit. And then hopefully by the time I come back, well, we could just slap it all over and then come back in and highlight it again, I suppose. That might work. Let's just do that. I'm just proving there that nothing that I do is well thought out. It's all just random. Some bandages on his arm there, so I think we'll do the same. Oh, he's got another bandage on that arm. Or wraps, I don't know if you call it bandage or wraps. I'm going to let that dry. Let's move over to this guy. This guy's got that like OG style Beastman like mask. Can't think who he reminds me of. I think he reminds me of the old metal. It's probably Finecast now. One with that's dual wielding the hand weapons. That kind of mask. So to say, I will come back in, check these masks out a bit more with shit. What was the color I used? Probably Wraithbone. We'll probably use Wraithbone. Wraithbone or Powered Witch Flesh. Probably Wraithbone. And just relight them up a little bit. I think we'll definitely do it with this guy because I actually really like the head on this dude. So we'll 100% come back in and touch his mask back up a bit, primarily because I don't want it to look like bone. I do want it to look like dirty cloth. So I'm wondering as well, since this one's quite a big axe, I'm just going to go in with that sepia and just go to the very edges. Because I wasn't messing about with sepia when I painted these initially. Just wonder what that's going to look like on the metallics there. And I decided that the wrap on this one was going to be like bandage color as well, as opposed to a lot of the times I was doing that burgundy color along my guys' weapons wraps as well, but I don't want that much like burgundy color, I think, this time around on them. So I opted for black a lot of the time now on the wraps, just to make life easier for me. So this guy's head's got some nice folds in it, so they're going to probably pull up a tad and saying I'm going to come back through. He's got a big axe head on here as well, so I might do that sepia wash there as well, the same sort of thing, and then just drag it back in. I've got a feeling that the contrast medium added to that old sepia is probably going to make it a bit satin, but it should be all right. What's going on here? There's some hair on this one that I think we could do with doing that too. So yeah, it is literally just a case of production line batch painting along. Do quite like doing it because it generally means that by the time I get to the last one, my other one will be semi-dry and we'll be able to mess with it. I was hoping the contrast medium would take away the kind of like tide marks, the coffee stain. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry. Could feel that one coming on. I'm going to use that sepia just on the recess bits on that hammerhead as well, and also on his bandages. Do want to pull that back in a bit. Okay. Oh, I've also got pustules. They haven't got very many pustules, so the one thing that I'm not happy about. It's the lack of pustules. It's a strange thing to say. They do have a couple, so the ones I have done, I'm going to all I did literally, when I was doing some of the Wraith Bone, I quickly highlighted any little bumps and bits. I don't do different colours for my pastorals. I keep it kind of uniform across the across all of my maggot kin. It's almost like a uniform now. They all have the same sort of blisters, and I've said the word pustules a bit too many times, but they all have the same colour. So it's generally just whatever yellows to hand. It used to be Uriel yellow, but it'd be whatever equivalent bright yellow I happen to see. But the main thing then is to add Blood for the Blood God. You just put it over the top, spread it out a little bit over into recesses and stuff, and then just clean the brush off, and we just go back in and essentially wipe the Blood for the Blood God away, or reduce it a little bit more, and it will keep the glossy shine over the top of the yellow bits. I do have to make an effort to keep looking at stream information just to make sure that my mic is still going, because I don't seem to have a battery. Status anywhere for my mini mics. I've got two, so one's always charging while I'm using the other one, so I can switch it over, but it's no good if I don't notice. So I'm sure this sepia wash is going to be fine. Kind of committed to it, didn't I, without even checking. I should have waited for the first one to dry a bit, but in all honesty, that's just how I roll. If I'm going to make a mistake, the mistake must be made on every single mini, because I have done it before where I noticed, didn't do every mini, had to, like whatever it was with paint, I had to fix it, and then by fixing it, the one that was fixed ended up looking different to the others. So generally, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm all in, unless it's something super easy, like just to fix real quick and I wouldn't notice. Yeah, normally it's all or nothing. Hence why all these weapons are also getting the same treatment. Okay. Oh, didn't realise that that's part of his face mask hood. Right. That's been done. So let's find, what do we want? Do you know what? I might use Powered Glitch Flash, because it's quite bright. Also, I find at the moment that Wraith Bone's a bit watery for a base paint. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot. I'm not going to actually go in and layer or anything. We're just going to stipple just a little bit, just in these upper edges. So yes, I know I'm a heretic, but this is straight out of the pot. I just love watching those videos of people that paint, and they've got all their like super expensive brushes and their super expensive wet palette out, and here's me straight out of the pot painting on my thumb. You do you. That works for you. Don't let anyone tell you how to paint your toys. Okay, that's much better. Can we even see that? Let's have a look. Whoop. So it still looks dirty. It's definitely a different colour to his skin. We will deal with the shine on a few things, say with some ultra matte varnish, which is what we'll be doing once I've gone along and just dotted all these masks out. It's funny, I swear to God, every time I paint Nurgle, I've got the sniffles. Grandfather's blessings be upon me. Now, there are eyes inside some of these hoods. I'm not averse to painting eyes. Doesn't really bother me too much. But I don't know if I'm going to be bothered to do it. That will be a future John issue. The current present John is not willing to deal with right this second. So I'm just going to dot in around there. I don't think you can even really see that part of his mask. So this one's a bit annoying actually. This one's a bit more stained than I kind of want it to be. I'm just going to stipple some of this powdered witch flesh in amongst that dark patch. That's fine. It's fine. He's not my favourite mask. This is my favourite mask. So yeah, this guy's blatantly got bone protruding from the front of his face. Don't think that's a tongue. I'm going to look at the box art a bit later and see. I don't think that's a tongue. I think he's missing his face is rotted off. So when I applied the shade, I did try to avoid this raised area. Which is where I'm just going to stipple on that powdered witch flesh. I'm just going to lightly tap it on the front and up through the middle. Tappy tap tap. So this will be a good one for when I do the blood for the blood god in the recesses, because currently his skin area is it's not really blending in with the mask, but the definition's kind of a bit not there. So when we mess about with blood for the blood god and just put it in around the recesses, make his face look sore in the edges, we should see a nice difference. Yeah, I like him. He's cool. The shield. So the shields do go. Yeah, there's a flat area. There's a peg hole, and there's generally a flat area behind them there. You don't. The shields aren't molded on. You do have to add them yourself. You could probably get away with filling it and just if you like green. I mean, I don't think you need amazingly good green stuff skills to get away with probably patching it. Oh, I was taking that opportunity to drink. Oh, it was green tea though. It was not nice. Right, I do need to touch this skin that's like stretched out over this shield a bit because I have. I'm just going to stipple some powdered witch flesh in, and we'll hit that with a flesh wash at some stage. Just not right now. I'm assuming that my mic is working. You did hear me reply about the shields. Where is my option? Do we not have an option to make sure that I get... I don't. I wanted the option for noises, but... Good. I'll take a thumbs up. Right. I need to set some sort of like reminder for me to like mention the fact that we are doing our 500 subscribers giveaway. I should like have to plug it like every 10 minutes or so. But we're not at 500 subscribers yet. We will be soon. But I need to remind myself to actually keep mentioning it. Can I class that as reminding myself, like saying it once? I think so. 500 subscribers. That's what I need. Best way of getting into Warhammer. It depends really. They always have like an entry way of doing it. I mean, currently, depending on which one you want to go for, if it's 40k or if it's Age of Sigmar, or even Old World, there's generally a starter set. Not so much for Old World. There's battalion boxes for Old World. I mean, I think the cheapest way to do it is like the get started sort of kits. I think they call them like weird things every time, like Recruit Edition and stuff like that. It really depends on which game system you want to get into. The things like the starter sets, like the Recruit Edition, Kill Team as well has a Recruit Edition. They generally have like entry level rules, obviously set models, and they'll take you through like certain things. But I'd say the first thing to do is decide on what flavor of Warhammer you want to get into. If you're going to go down the 40k route, so the sci-fi 40k route, or if you're going to go into the high fantasy AOS style thing, or the older fantasy of Old World, the skirmish mode's a kill team, but again, that's technically 40k. Oh, it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. 100%. But they do all kind of have their own like entry level sort of things. You do have certain things, the other little side things. I think actually, do you know what the harder one that most people ask is? What's the best way of getting into Necromunda? That's what's a funny one. But yeah, obviously you've got a few standalone sort of things. But your question was very general. First thing I'd say to do is pick your flavor, pick your poison, decide which route you're going. If you're going fantasy or sci-fi, and then other options will open up. You have now reminded me that I haven't had one so far this year, but I'm bound to get my favourite in brackets customer of old grannies coming in and asking, with no list or anything, but just saying they need to buy some Warhammer for their grandson. That's always a good one. Then got to try and figure out what Warhammer. Generally, my advice is go and get some form of list. Tell your grandchild to not be so vague and to actually give you a list of some description. I wouldn't say meaningful amount of bits. The only thing you're going to be left with is, where did I throw them all? Ooh, in fact, I've got them. Hang on. I'll tell you. So I rummage around down beneath my legs. So bits wise, let's chuck that there. So that's the wretched cultist, isn't it? Yeah. No. Short answer, no. Meaningful amount of bits wise. Hang on, I can't even tell because I haven't got the right screen on a second, so I can't tell what you guys can see. You have to look down the bottom corner. All that was really left over, say you've got what arms, there's a chunk for the one that's holding the pitchfork. In fact, hang on. Let's just grab. So I'm going to pause everything up. Let's grab this and drag it there a second. So yeah, not massively, because everyone there's a couple head options for a couple dudes, and then every single dude has the option for 2 different weapons. So that was one of the sprues. Hang on, I've just dropped the other one on the freaking floor now. Look what you're making me do. Ruining everything. No, I'm joking. And the other one is literally just 2 shields and 2 arms. So no real meaningful amount of bits. I'm sure that's an easier way of doing what I just did then, but completely thrown me off now. Where was I? Did I finish? Anybody able to tell me what number, what one I was on? No, he doesn't look like he's been touched. Look what you've done to me. Oh, Grey Knights is a difficult one because I mean we find Grey Knights hard to sell in store literally just because a lot of people are thinking that 11th edition is going to mean if they're going to end up with like a full reboot. They technically have one of the older range. Do they have the oldest now? They're definitely up there. Yeah, they haven't had any new actual substantial new minis, proper new minis for quite some time. I mean, they had Castellan Crow, was it? I can't remember. I don't do Grey Knights. But yeah, they've only really had that, and then the reboot for the Baby Carrier, the Grandmaster box. So yeah, just be mindful with the Grey Knights ones. I mean, they might still be valid for at least like a year or 2 for all we know, but it depends on if and when. There's a lot of rumours, and not all of them can be true. So that's the problem. It's the same with Custodes. There's been rumours for a full Custodes redo for a while. Although I actually really like the Grey Knight kits. The only thing I don't like about them is that their scale. They're just not when you compare them to the newer models and the Primaris size sort of like models. I hope they just get an upscale with no actual fluff changes. Just make them bigger and don't say why. So I should have probably, while I was doing this, been brightening up these tongues, which I may just noticed I haven't been doing. I really should get like a timer that's just set to like ping every like 10 minutes or 20 minutes to just say, make sure you subscribe. I want to give away free stuff. Right. Oh yeah, do Black Templars. Ah, thanks. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, Black Templars is a good shout because their range did get updated relatively recently. So they don't really have any old models, and plus their models look sick. Yeah, I think we will attempt to push into the 500s, and then let's just hope that we can smash up to the thousands, because we have budget. We're allowed. We've got stuff to buy, and all the alarms are going off again. I don't even know what that one was for. Yeah. Haven't had to do a giveaway yet, and it would be cool to do a giveaway. It'd be cool to send someone a box set of some description. Why am I painting skulls? I'm not supposed to be doing that. This is what happens when I sidetrack myself. I will default. I won't even think about it. I'll just start painting something else, as long as it's kind of a bone one. As long as it's a bony colour. I've done it again. So bad for it. I try to be really disciplined when I'm doing like big batch painting, and I try not to. I'll be like, right, I'm just going to paint this color on this mini, and then we'll just work our way through and do all 60. I mean, I'm going to have like 60 or 70 jackals for to paint for commission soon. I refuse to start it until he's built them all, because I refuse to build them, and it's just going to drop them all on me, and then I'm going to have to sit here and batch paint them all out. And I have to be real disciplined when I'm doing that, because I've got to literally make sure that I'm only painting like one thing across all the models. Yeah, random smackhead swearing outside. Always good. Okay. You could ask, how did I know that he was a smackhead? I can tell you, because he was doing a smackhead walk down the road, pretty much bent over double, walking with purpose. Okay. Someone's singing down the road now as well. Apparently it's crazy day outside. This is just acrylics. Not messing about with oils or enamels today. Everything's been acrylic. The only thing that hasn't been, we haven't used acrylic on for these, was literally just applying an enamel wash to them yesterday, which, to be honest, didn't really do much. The best thing about, well, actually it did, it matted it all down nicely, so it gave us a nice matte effect on the skin and everything. This is just, I'm just stippling on. Pallid Witch Flesh from Games Workshop, so it's just a GW acrylic paint. I've stuck mostly to the Games Workshop acrylics for everything so far, to be honest. I had a little bit of a mess about with some AK Rust Wash on. Oh, actually, no, the Verdigris. That's an oil wash. Yeah, we messed about with that yesterday, weren't we? Yes. But no, paint wise, it's all acrylics. Right. Done that messing about. I do need to dull down any of the contrasts that have left a shiny well, more of a satin effect. So on the browns and things. So I'm going to use some ultra matte varnish just to get rid of that. Oh, I need something to put said ultra matte varnish in. I don't have a single, oh my god, everything's filthy. I don't have a single clean. What can I use? Everything is grubby as hell behind me. Okay, let's grab a. My hands in this base bag of bases. Find an old crappy base that I'm 100% going to regret using at some point. Start there. Oh, it's 3D printed base. That's perfect. Let's use that. That'll do. Right. Now, I love ultra matte varnish. It's actually ultra matte varnish specifically. But I will say, caveat, it's not for everybody. Because I know people that use a lot of Games Workshop acrylics, use a lot of Games Workshop contrast paints. It's not specifically just Games Workshop, but a lot of the speed paints do it as well. And they all leave everything kind of like in a satin, just like a glossiness to them, which I don't particularly like. I like everything to be matte. So yeah, be warned. Should you go out and buy yourself some ultra matte varnish and chuck it over your model, just be aware it will look very different once it dries. Very different. But I like it. I like the difference. Just try not to get it on your metallics either if you want them to be shiny, because it will matte them down. And in all honesty, I actually generally like the matte effect. It's the same. It gives the same sort of effect basically as if you just put an enamel wash over your metallics. They generally dull down a lot. But I know where I've put shade, so I'm going to. Admittedly, saying that, he says, quite a lot of these shades and stuff have already been dulled down because of the enamel wash. I've not done the Bray Shaman yet. No, do you know what? I'm really pissed off. I should have added him in to the rotation. So now, I mean, I curse past John now. He should have been in with these because I've now got to try and colour match the bastard. So no, Bray Shaman has not been painted already. Thank you for reminding me. I noticed that yesterday. I was really mad. I was over it. You just brought that pain back up. It's fine though. I forgive you. It's fine. He's a character. He can be a different colour. Maybe we'll paint him a more sore pinky skin tone as opposed to, or maybe we'll go really green with his skin tone. I don't know. I'm undecided. I don't think about these things in advance. We just do them. Don't plan. We just do it. I respect any of you that have the ability to pre-plan your stuff. I literally can't do it. I have to literally just paint in the moment. That sounds really lame, but mine is stick paint on, see if paint looks good. Hope that it looks good. And if it doesn't, well, we can all strip them. I haven't had to strip a mini though for quite a while, so touch wood somewhere. Touch wood, we'll be okay. It's up to you, really. We're painting Necrons. I painted hundreds of Necrons. Admittedly, mine were all bone coloured, so can't be much help there. But if I was doing them, I would probably paint them black and then dry brush them silver. But then I like everything to look dirty, so if you've yeah, I can literally see the benefit of just going straight with silver. It depends on what you want to do with them. If you're going to paint them silver, I mean, technically, then you're going to be washing them all. So if you're planning on washing them all like with a black non-oil or an oil wash or whatever, then you could just do them silver, or you could do them black and you can dry brush them silver, and then you'll have some nice shady bits. Look at me talking like I know what I'm doing. Is it that time to plug again? Probably. Subscribe. There you go, that's me plugging. 500 subscribers is what we're aiming for, and then we're giving away a combat patrol or a spearhead or something of equivalent value. It's like 100 and whatever quid value. I'm sure we can work something out. But not if we don't hit our 500. Then when we hit our 1,000, we'll do the same. There we go. Plugged. Just got to remember to keep saying it, because I will just sit here, paint, and not do anything, not say anything, and then I won't be able to give away something to someone. Okay. Almost. No, we're not. I thought we were almost at the end of having to do the ultra matte varnish then, but we're not. Oh, dry brushing's easy. Buy yourself some makeup brushes, cheapy ones from like Claire's Accessories. YouTube is your friend. We live in a golden age for learning how to do this sort of stuff. Or just do what I do and just prat about until you kind of look like you know what you're doing. always, you just wing it. Worst case scenario, Google how to paint strip minis with Dettol afterwards. Sometimes if I'm not 100% sure on how I want to paint something, I will just grab one and I'll do a tester, get it up to a certain level, and then if I'm happy, then I will crack on and do a lot of things. But most of the time when I'm painting something, I've already painted something similar, so I'll have a vague idea in my head of what I want to do, and then I'll just crack on and get it done. But yes, makeup brushes are really good for dry brushes. There used to be some really good ones on Amazon called ELF, like elf brushes, ELF eyeshadow brushes or something like that. But I think they've changed now. I don't think they're the same. Either they're not the same company, or someone's realised and someone's ripped them off, because I can't find the good ones I used to use. Or if you want to buy some actual like dry brushes, Army Painter's Master Class or Master Dry Brush Set, that's a good one. It's not massively expensive, and they're nice brushes. I've got an airbrush, yes. I actually have a couple. I don't use it a huge amount. I use it when I need to do a lot of stuff, and there are certain paint schemes that I need to use it for. But mostly I just brush work, which is hilarious because a lot of the time I'm batch painting and I'm sat here like brushing on like a black base coat when I could have just, I say quickly, but I mean, it is obviously quicker, but then I've got to set it up and I've got to clean it out and blah, blah, blah. And I can't be asked to do that. So yeah, most of the time, everything's brushwork. Okay, what we got? Sure, it's quite chilly in here, and I don't think that this Ultramat's drying as fast as it normally would. Slap, 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 slap. So my plan is to be live as long as I can be today. The only break I'm really going to get is going to be when I go off to watch my youngest child's Christmas carol performance, which is, I think I've got to leave at about 1:45. So how long have I got? I've got a little bit of time still. So plan is to just crack on. Right, they're done. Do you know what? While I'm at it, because I haven't done it to these guys, I'm going to ultramat their tabards as well, because it needs to be done. Admittedly, I've messed about with these dudes quite a lot, so there shouldn't be too much in the way of like that satin shine, but I know that the Sigvold Burgundy contrast paint that I've used on these guys, like loinclothy tabard bits, is particularly shiny. So we will quickly. I really want to get these guys finished, but I'm just waiting on some typhus corrosion to come back in, because well, I can't find mine. And even though I'm a shop, and I have all the GW paints over there, all my typhus corrosion is gone. And even though I 100% own it, I can't find the bastard anywhere. Okay. Does the big... Oh, yeah, she does need it. The tabard is... We haven't actually started playing this yet. purposely not, because I said I'd rather see if we can get it all painted. Ah, no. See if we can get it all painted up and then play. And then I think there's a good chance, if I can get it done quick enough, we may set all the cameras up over the table, and possibly I might see if I can get Matt to come in and we'll do it live. And I'll have to check the terms and condition of YouTube, because we normally do a Christmas gaming thing where we drink and play games. But we'll see. Back in a sec. Apologies. Darkwater campaign, how far are we? We are... No, we're not even slightly into it. No, my audio's not gone. I had to mute my mic for a second. Although I do actually have some text. Does this work? Let me have a look. Bloop. Oh, there you go. That's cool. Does this one work? Ha! What does that say? If you were seeing this, we messed about with this ages ago. This was just to keep things... I don't even know what this message says. We wrote this ages ago. Because I am in a shop, so I have to mute every once in a while if I need to speak to someone. Amazing. Well, I'll keep that message. I'll pop it back up if I need to. But no, I am back. Haven't started the Darkwater campaign yet. We want to paint it, get it all painted before we start. So, yeah. I've just wasted so much of that ultra matte varnish. I did not need that much, but generally it's one or the other. I either have too much of it or not enough. I know it does look a bit like an emergency broadcast message. I mean, you should all remain indoors anyway. No one wants to go outside. Don't do it. Not worth it. There's nothing good out there. Right, blood for the blood god. C for the bee god. Right. Do you know what? I've just done that, and I've realised that I don't have a drink. So, apologies. Although saying that, my kettle takes so long to boil that I probably could actually paint every single mini in that time. Okay, so yes, blood for the blood god. That's what I'm doing next. I'm going to try and plop some of that into the recesses and hunt down any of the little pustules. There is a bit of, fuck's sake, some of that's still wet. I kind of need that to be dry before I mess about with it, don't I? Yeah, so I need to go and find my hairdryer really quickly. Now I'm going to mute my mic just a sec so you don't hear me stamping around and banging around everywhere. Do I need to put my muted mic text up? Boop, boop. There you go. I'm going to mute my mic. I'll be back in probably less than 2 minutes. In fact, here you go. Have my text as well. We'll test it. Okay, I found it. Let's turn these off. Pretty big. So, just going to pour myself some incredibly boring green tea because I'm once again trying to detox myself off of my incredibly highly caffeinated lifestyle. Fortunately, that green tea bag will take probably an absolute age to actually flavour that water. Apologies. It's not the most exciting of live streams at this moment. I promise you, I was doing stuff earlier. But that guy coming in and yapping to me has kind of thrown me off and made me realise that I needed stuff. Right, I'm back. I'm back. Promise. Did I lose you all? Does it still say that my mic's muted on the screen? Have I just paused everything up clicking that? No, I am still here. It's fine. Got worried then. I thought I messed it up. Okay, so these guys don't have a huge amount of pussy bits on them, but they do have a few little bits. Can you see them? Here and here. And there's a little patch on his back here. So plan is to get some blood for the blood god. And what shall we use? A tiny bit of lamb medium. Let's put that down there. You just need something to thin that blood, so the blood got out once it's on. It's really annoying because my tea's right next to me and it's not currently drinkable. So what I'm going to do is attempt not to ruin this guy. We're just going to blob some blood for the blood got there. Now that's a bit too thin. Because all I want to do is stay in the area. And make it look a bit sore. So we'll just blob some on. We can feed this along with strap marks. And then just push it back in. And it's essentially just to make it look sore and bruised. And a bit goopy. Just lets us add a bit of red. And that red white. And what we'll do is we'll do the same across his mouth. Looks like I just gave him lipstick. But again, I'm just gonna, it's not very much, but it's just a tiny little bit of red. I don't know what that is there, so I'm gonna colour it a bit goopy as well. I'm gonna use the word goopy a few times, I think. So what I like to do with slightly thinned down blood for the blood god as well is to apply it around places. What the hell is that noise? Like hooves. I'm going to end up with roadworks right outside my shop. Anywhere where I reckon things have got a bit sore. And sometimes I'll slap it all over the weapon as well. But I don't feel like doing that today. I try not to go too overboard with the old gory weapons. So same again, just going to add it around the like pussy bit. Then and with a semi-cleaned off brush, just touch back over them. Just remove it from the top, back again in the moment. Apologies. Someone wanted to buy some Pokemon cards and then asked me about doing classes for learning how to paint. I think I would be absolutely terrible at that. It's bad enough when someone asks me how I painted something currently. I'm generally just a case of, I envy all of you people that have painting journals. Hello again. I'm live on, but you don't care. You're live? Yeah. That doesn't matter though, does it for you? You don't care. You're not gonna say anything horribly offensive. You're only here to pick up your Pokemons. She'll deal with it as one. But deal with you. Huh? No. But you didn't bring a bag with you, did you? They're not even going to fit in one of my bags. They might actually. I might be able to hide them. Stop you getting mobbed. Stop you from... Yeah, that's it. You're walking around with Pokemon in your hands. That's a terrible thing to do. Yeah, you're not going to get two in a bag. Yes. Yes. Damn customers affecting my painting.
Yeah, looking the same. Are you streaming on TikTok or what?
No, it's on YouTube at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Boosters. Oh, for fuck's sake. 5. Whatever that amount of money says. 2, 5. Right, I've stuck them in there. I wouldn't say this is the most ideal bagging situation. Sure. Gonna give you a bin bag.
Definitely will get my best.
Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Alright, sorted.
Nice one. All good?
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, thanks very much.
No worries, enjoy. I'll take you off my list later when I'm... Yeah.
Am I down for one of the multi boxes?
If it comes in,
yeah,
I will let you know.
Yeah, cool. Amazing. Cheers, buddy.
No worries, have fun.
Yeah, cheers, take care.
Ciao. There are certain people that I won't mute the mic for, just because it's fine. When it's someone I don't know, you can never guarantee what they're going to say. Could say something horribly offensive. Okay, so with this one, I have semi-autopiloted. That watered down blood for the blood god, blood for the blood god does make a difference. I say it's nice to slap into the just randomly around. Okay, did I get all of his little pussy bits? I think I did. Right. So yes, if anyone wondering why I randomly mute my mic every once in a while, it's because I am actually a hobby shop and I do sell Warhammer stuff and Pokemon, Pokemon cards and other hobby paraphernalia. So every once in a while, I actually do get a customer. Or as we've just seen in the last half an hour, I've got a few, even though it's bloody freezing outside. I'm going to deal with this green tea while I talk bollocks to you a second. So yeah, that's why my mic gets muted every once in a bit. And I'm going to have a sip of tea quickly. This is why things don't get done, because I get sidetracked. Okay, back to the Blood for the Blood God, I think. Did I lose everybody in the mute off in the muted mics? Did everybody disappear and abandon me? Ooh, I'm gonna do my favourite one now. Let me just Blood for the Blood God down a sec. Right, so this is the one that I'm fairly sure is all bony nosed. So we're gonna align a bit of Blood for the Blood God there. And we're just gonna push it back in. And just slightly down this bit of his jaw, because let's say it was the mask was kind of not so bad on the inside, but it's quite bad there. The mask was kind of hiding, blending into the skin tone a bit. Ooh, I'll tell you what I didn't do, although it's not so bad. Oh, thanks for saying that. It is a great shop, I agree. I am biased, but I agree. My tiny little shop. So yeah, let's get some Blood for Blood God. This guy, I kind of want to be a bit more sore looking, because he's obviously been in the wars a bit since he's missing a good chunk of his face by the looks of it. So I'm going to add some sore patches just in along his braces a bit. Oh, now I've just realised what's going to happen. The last time I was painting with a lot of Blood for the Blood God, I used my thumb palette, as I call it, to wipe a lot of the excess off, and I ended up with this really bloody red looking patch on my thumb. And then all I was getting was comments of people asking if I'd cut myself or if there was something wrong with my thumb. So I need to fix that as well. That's that push fit gap that's popped open. Obviously one that I tried to trust. I was thinking that they'd probably be really good for Old World. I do wonder if we'll get a multi-part kit for them. But yeah, Pestigors were always my favourite. And they are very, well, a couple of them. Actually, no, they all kind of definitely have like a nod to the old metal ones. Okay, he is sufficiently sore looking now, I think. He's my favourite one. Oh yeah, my thumb's going to look gross in a minute. Come the end, my thumb's going to look particularly disgusting. Blob some over them. Blob some over them. Oh, it's been at least 10 minutes since I told people everybody needs to subscribe so that I can give stuff away when I hit 500 subscribers. There you go. I plugged it again. Subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing. And then when we do our giveaway, you got a chance to win a spearhead or a combat patrol or an old world battalion or something of equivalent value. There you go. I've done my plug. Right. Blob, 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 blob. These ones are annoyingly in some sort of weird pattern. I did used to have some sort of weird subscriber counter or something, I remember, but I don't know where that's gone from OBS. I think when I did something, I deleted loads of my OBS stuff, so the counter for that disappeared. I really should get it back up. It's nice. I feel like I've actually achieved something so far this morning. These guys are looking a lot better than they were yesterday when I left the shop. It's just blood for the blood god. I'm just applying it very, very lightly and then quickly wiping it off and just essentially stippling it out and in. It has this awesome effect of darkening, going, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. When it goes into the shadows and stuff like that, it has a tendency of just making everything look bruised. And since I've matte varnished everything as well, it makes like kind of everything look, I don't know, it just gives like another sort of texture to the Mini. I don't mind the glossiness of it. It kind of gives that slimy, sweaty look. That slimy, sweaty look that we're all looking for. You can kind of mitigate it by cleaning the brush off and then wiping it back in. It does have a really nice effect. Okay, we're halfway through rubbing them up. When did I knock my camera? I didn't. No. I'm going to do the same with the Nurgle dudes in a second as well. With Blood for the Blood God, it just helps make things. It's why this guy. Did I do it with him? Yeah, I did. It's why this guy's got these like bruisey areas to his hands and stuff. It's just where those like bruise lines and stuff were originally like a greyish color from the dry brushing and the just like the stippling and going lighter and lighter. Just applying the Blood for Blood God like lightly down these areas just meant that they turned into more like bruise lines. So that's the idea, and it also makes the pustules pop. Yeah, didn't think I'd be saying pustules pop today. All right, this guy is like the guy that's missing most of his nose. He doesn't have much in the way of pussiness, so we're going to go with just kind of adding it in. Can kind of do the same sort of thing with Nurgle's Rot as well, but Nurgle's Rot is the greeny, snotty yellow version of this, and with that one you do kind of have to at least apply a couple thick bits of it just so that it shows up. But yeah, just literally just lightly stippling in. And my brush has hardly anything on it. I'm just going to point that out when you see me suddenly remove my brush suddenly, it's because I'm quickly cleaning it off. I'm definitely not licking my brush. 100% not licking my brush. Because that would be bad. Right, so this, assuming that this is also a peely bit, but we're going to. So the other nice thing about Blood for Blood God is you can apply it to tongues and stuff, even if all you've done is base them like flesh tone. I see this guy. I'm pretty sure is missing his lower jaw. I think that's his tongue, and that's actually that his jaw's missing. So if you decide to do this and you're doing it quite heavily or over like quite a large amount of mini, I actually suggest doing what I did and getting some Lamia medium, just some Lamia medium spare somewhere, and using that to like glaze your patches back in because it will remove. You can actually kind of make a wash using Blood for the Blood God and Lamium, which I'm just doing now, and it will give you a very thinned down version, which you can then just use to like add little stained bruisey areas to the flesh, and you won't get that much of a type mark or anything because it'll be super thinned. I've done it so much now though that I don't generally have to do that. I could normally just use it straight out of the pot, not bother thinning it, and just make sure I clean the brush off and remove it. But it's quite nice if you just want to add like a more grimdarky, fleshy, bruised area. Because it's all thinned down, we can use our brush to wick it away. That's another one. So, I mean, all of these guys now, technically, I can get away with using on tabletop. I'd say I'd class them as tabletop ready now. Really, just painting this up, just to try and get the whole set done. I don't know about the heroes. I think we're going to live stream our first game. I think there'll be alcohol involved. I like to generally have a Christmas game, so it could be quite interesting to see how it plays. I think we'll just muddle through it. We'll just go in blind. Maybe try and think of some drinking games to play. And just go in blind with it and see how far we get. Try to avoid any spoilers. I think somewhat, is it Guerrilla Miniatures Lane? I think they're currently playing a campaign. I haven't watched it because I don't really want any spoilers to do anything with it, really. But yeah, it seems to be going rather well. Definitely managed to get a lot more done. I didn't think I'd get as much as I did yesterday done. So being able to get these guys to this point now, I'm really happy with that. That's good effort from me, if I do say so myself. I think we'll probably be on the wretches. Probably be on the wretches next. I'm going to try and get these finished off before I have to go and watch my son's carol service in school. Actually doing okay for time there, so I think we will. I think I'll have these done before I have to run off. We're going to bloody these two guys up a bit more than the other ones. Should probably make sure I clean this red off my thumb as well before I go into school. What's with all the notifications all of a sudden? Right. Not important ones. They weren't the most important ones, which are so-and-so has subscribed. Come on, people. Let's get me to 500 subscribers so that I can give somebody something for free. I've done it again, see? I'm remembering. 500 subscribers and we do a subscriber giveaway. 1,000 subscribers, we'll do another subscriber giveaway. And we'll probably do it in 500 increments. Why not? I don't know, actually. We'll see what the next milestone is. If it's 2K after that or higher, then... Or maybe we'll just keep doing them in 500s. I don't mind that. Honestly, I think we put away a like kind of promotional budget essentially for subscriber giveaways when we started the channel, which was a few months back. So currently, you guys aren't costing me anything. So if we can get to 500, then you'll cost me a box set and postage. You will cost me monies then, but not if people don't subscribe. How often do you have to subscribe? You can only be a subscriber once. Unfortunately, I like these way too much to be giving away my Pestigors. I think what we'll do when we hit 500 subscribers is I will put out a woohoo, yay, thanks for getting me to 500. And then I will probably just say for people to leave a comment on that video. But what I might do is draw a name of just all subscribers, just in case, and then add that name, put that name that I draw from there into, say, that comment video. I don't know. I'll figure out. Or just do a post and say like, and then I'll anyone that's subscribed that has liked the video, and I'll do a random name number generator. We'll check off, make sure that they've subscribed, and then I guess that's who will win. I don't know. Figure out when I'm closer to that. Painting bruised skin is fun and not fun at the same time. Okay. We're almost there. I think I'm going to have enough time to kind of do this to the Blight Kings as well. Annoyingly, they don't have very much fleshy bits, so a lot of theirs is going to be me having to go back in and do a whole bunch of like armor chipping and that sort of shenanigans. Again, it's the only reason they're not really finished is because I'm still waiting for my restock for Typhus Corrosion, because I really want to use that. Not sure why his pack is so white, but I'm sure I can mess with that. Okie dokes. How many? Oh, this is nice. This is the last of the Pestigors. I'm gonna drop him. To do this to. So bonus. They are basically done. adding this like blood for the blood god step is generally my last thing that I do. So I must have subconsciously knew that I was pretty much done with these chaps. So there will be some other bits to do on them, but if I can get everything to this sort of level, then I will be happy enough to start playing. I do need to figure out what I'm doing with the bases. I need something quick and easy. I might just mud them. Oh no, I've already, as I said already, I have to actually look at my current magickin. Crap. It's a good chance that they're actually quite basic anyway. The way I look at it with bases is I can always go back and add more to them. Much like the minis, to be fair, I'm generally quite happy to leave like minis at a certain point, and if I feel like I've got the time or I need to go back in, I will. Cool. That is the Pestigors all blooded up. Now I do really want to do that blood for the blood god stuff on this guy. So what I'm going to do is, oh my god, knock over some metal pallets. That's what I'm going to do. Let's chuck them over there. So I'm going to just attempt to block fill out his like scarification with it. And then we're just going to stipple in. We could probably get away with some yellow on some of these bits. So just going to use this blood for the blood god just to make this hand a bit grosser. And then we'll drag it down between his fingers and remove. And there we get where it shouldn't be. And then we've thankfully already got these dark areas that were kind of mapped out when I was stippling and glazing on lighter and lighter flesh tones the other day. So what we can do is just go in and stipple this blood for the blood god into those crevices. And if we take it too far, we just quickly clean off the brush and kind of poke it back in. It's very good if you've done, so we did quite a heavy dry brush on these areas. And so some of the actual like black grey sort of noticeably black grey bits, they work quite nice as a kind of like guide to where you want to put it. What we'll do is we will use the yellow, get some yellow in there later when we come back. I'll come back and do the typhus and everything on these guys anyway. So we'll go in with yellow, pick out some of the actual blueberry spot bits. And where these push fit lines have blatantly not gone together, we'll fill that with blood for the blood god. Because what I'll do with that gap, it's not a huge gap, but I will probably get some Nurgle's rot and make that into like a pussy crack. Pussy crack. What a thing to say. I feel like the term pussy crack definitely means that this video is no longer safe for kids. I mean, it's marked as not for kids anyway, so it's fine. Just in case I decide to swear. Okay, let's get this area here quite heavily blood for the blood godded. Seem to have not really done too much on the inside of that hand, so I'm gonna do it quite heavily in there, and then later I'll come back and I will stipple in some flesh tones. So unlike the Pestigors where I was doing this as my kind of last thing, for this guy I'm gonna mess with him a bit more. So he isn't gonna stay like this. That arm is looking nice and juicy. I've just realised I'm completely off centre there, aren't I? Yes, his arm is looking nice and gross. We will pick that all back out again and highlight some bits. We'll get some yellow bits on there as well. He's quite basic. I actually really like him. He was my favourite model in the reveal because he's got one of my favourite style helmets. He is quite basic. Right, anywho's. I think that's a good place to leave it. These chappies are all looking much better than they did yesterday. It's the right amount, isn't it? 8? Yeah, there's 8. 8 in the box, yeah. 2 screws from 4. No, I haven't screwed up there, have I? And like missed 2 of them. No, pretty sure that's right. So yeah, I think that's a decent place to leave them. They're looking rather nice. There isn't really much more, to be fair, that I can really do with them, apart from like just more detail bits, but they're not exactly characters. So spending too much time on them might be a waste. Plus, I do have the Shaman today. But they are wicked, and I really, really, really hope that we get a multi-part box for them. So I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off in just a sec. I can't be bothered to crack out the airbrush, so I'm going to just base coat all 14 or whatever wretched cultists they are, just in brown. I'm not going to do it on stream because I've got to go to my son's choir practice. Well, no, choir performance, not even the practice. So I think I'm going to get some boring stuff like based out, and then I expect tomorrow now I'll be back on live again painting Wretched. I'll see how much I can get done with them. I might just get them base brown and dry brush them up into a bone colour just so I can work on them straight away tomorrow and think about what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all. Like I say, subscribe. Don't have to like the video, don't care. Like, dislike, do whatever you like. But subscribe. Let's get to 500 so that I can give away something. And then let's get to 1,000 so I can give away something. I'm sure it will. There's thanks. Hopefully it will go fine. There's nothing I like more than sitting in a large hall with a whole bunch of children sneezing and sniffling and randomly singing. But there's bound to be one that's going to be dancing like in a ludicrous way or something. So that'll make it worth it. But thank you. Anyway, have a good one. Cheers. I'll speak to you all again soon. Subscribe. Have I said that enough times? Subscribe. Anyway, bye.